Hey, what's going on, you awesome people out there? My name is Scott Schertzen, alongside Mr. Ryan O'Regan. Davion Busi is somewhere on planet Earth, possibly this multiverse. We're not sure yet, but we're going to find out in due time. Anyway, this is, as always, Tales from the Film Set on the Spanglish World Network and Zingo TV, channel 249 and 250. Kindly make sure to download the Zingo TV app on the app stores of iOS and Android. When you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free. And lastly, Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and all smart TVs 2016 and forward. Sir, how the hell are you?
It's weird. This is like the shortest amount of time I've seen you in like the last few weeks, since I saw you just on Friday when we did the Stranger Things watch party.
Yes, we did.
So it's like I feel like I haven't seen you in that long, and yet I have.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing is the question I've got.
It's a Stranger Thing.
I see what you did there.
Which, of course, if you haven't watched episodes 8 and 9 yet, and you're just trying to make sure you avoid all the spoilers, or if the spoilers have gotten to you and you have to do it now, we can go ahead and watch along with you. We do have that 4-hour playtime showing up on the channel now. It was an experience. I think we ended up catching a few of those Easter eggs before anyone else started talking about it, especially that sword thing. I just watched, yes. I think it was either Watch Mojo or it was Screen Rant that just posted about the sword, and I was like, we got that first.
You did say that was a Conan sword there, so
well, yeah, from the Barbarian, not necessarily the Destroyer. I don't think they changed it much.
But I mean, even basically 1986 decapitation a la Highlander, a little more gory, mind you, but
fair.
But now, see, the problem is if Davion was here, I have that picture of me loaded up.
What picture?
Should I just post it? The shirt.
Oh yes. Your now new signature outing outfit.
Yes. Davion actually said he wasn't going to be on. I forgot about that. Bollocks. Anyway, so basically, just for the funny and rings of it, I got this shirt. And yeah, he sent me a message. Actually, I completely forgot. So I got this shirt. Very cool Hellfire Club shirt. I may have by mistake actually gotten the wrong size. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it was them, but we're just going to go with, hey, it was probably me. So I actually.
Howdy.
What's that?
Boy, howdy.
Yeah. So we're going to just show this one right now and just, we'll do it this way.
All you people that were sweating it out yesterday during the 4th of July celebrations, just know we were sweating it out in our own way here.
Yes, we were. And I'm going to pull this picture up just for novelty's sake. It really kind of shows my midriff. So this is basically what I looked like during the watch party itself.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's not necessarily a bad look. It gives you like that, 1980s muscle tee sort of thing. All we need to do is get you like some curls in the hair with like, a workout bandana around it, some proper shades. And I'm telling you, you gotta rock the booty shorts on a pair of roller skates. You would be classic.
Yeah. Honestly, I went through about 4 hours, I guess, of watching Stranger Things, wearing that shirt. By the way, when I'm actually sitting here, I usually wear really loose pants because when I'm sitting this way, especially when I'm doing like 4 hours, I wear pants that are designed to be a little bit more forgiving, a little more space. So you see a little bit of my underwear in this picture, I'll grant you that. But the second I put this shirt on, I was just like, oh God. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I don't look terrible in it. I mean, you can see like a little nipple right here, but
Dude, I'm telling you, we get you out when you put on like Dream Police playing in the background. You're washing the car, it's all good, man.
But yeah, not my best look ever. So we're basically, like I said, I was really hoping Davion was going to be on to be able to see that. Hopefully he's still watching right now because he did comment on the side saying he hates us. I don't know where he hates me, so I don't know why, but because
went ahead and did it, and he
Yeah,
did think it was another day. I do have to say, just a matter of
that's
miscommunication.
right. Yes, yes, yes. He did put an LOL on there, so I don't think the hate is like true animosity. But
Yes, yes, yes.
see, Dave,
We're going to be expecting packages at our doorstep anytime soon.
This is what you missed out on, me and my midriff.
Yeah.
So, whoopsie.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have just been video or a gif of me eating cheese balls the entire time. So,
oh, dude, you had a big thing of cheese balls there too. Anyway,
and I finished it. God
good
help
on
me.
you. Good job, man. So, all
Yeah.
right.
Do
Anyway,
not put me in that shirt.
boo.
It would not be good.
At this point, basically, I figure we'll basically flip over to the topic that we're really going to be talking about here. We have Thor: Love and Thunder coming out. This is coming out on Friday. It's anticipated. I mean, is it really highly anticipated? Is it moderately anticipated? Do people even remember it's even coming on?
Well, I think plenty of people know that it's coming out. Lord knows they've been pushing the advertising ever since they finally dropped the trailer only a few months ago, which, mind you, this has been a short amount of time that they've had the trailer drop to the movie release as far as things in Marvel are concerned. And from what I've heard of the early reviews, I think it's sitting right now on Rotten Tomatoes per, pre-screens and everything at 75%.
Okay.
So it's faring well. I don't know if it's necessarily faring as well as Disney may have hoped. And you have to imagine that they probably put a lot of hope on this
Mhm.
because Thor being like the last true Avenger that they can have cinematically after everything we've seen on the Disney Plus shows, the return of Natalie Portman, they're really digging deep into the comic lore with it.
Mhm.
Waititi is back on, so you're expecting the same kind of like fun action adventure comedic results that you got from Thor Ragnarok. And there is also the caveat that considering how Avengers Infinity War turned out and how it pretty much took the place right after the events of Ragnarok, you have
Mhm.
to wonder if there isn't going to be some sort of major change in the universe or if we're probably going to lead into the big bad and storyline that Kevin Feige has alluded to, that the big bad of Phase 4 is going to be showing up in the next few months. Whether
Mhm.
it be on movies or television, we don't know. So you have to wonder, is Loki going to be making a presence in this movie? Are we going to be getting King the Conqueror? Are we going to be getting something else?
Mhm.
There's so much that's being put on the shoulders of this movie that I almost wonder if people aren't necessarily getting a little disappointed by what to expect. Much in probably the same way you could have said that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a bit of a fractured story. Probably not
Mhm.
the best that Marvel could have put out, but it was still a thrill ride. But as far as storytelling and moving things along, this may be in that same vein, and some fans may be a little irked by it.
I mean, my take on this, and this is my attitude. Hence the reason I put it in the bit down below. I think this movie is going to be It's going to basically be well rated and well reviewed. What I do not believe, though, is that I believe it will be. I don't believe it'll be profitable. We just had a big deal Marvel movie 2 months ago. You've got so much on the horizon right now, and it's summer. You have so much competition going on. Obviously, before we started the show, you talked about the new Minions movie. Top Gun Maverick is still rolling right now. I think, despite the fact that this is probably going to be a good film, and you talked about Taika Waititi basically back at the helm again, you know what he's going to bring to the table. You know what he did for Thor Ragnarok. You know what he does for like What We Do in the Shadows, which also is coming back in, by the way, about 1 week too. Want to point that one out. So
And the other show he's done, Our Flag Means Death, love
yes,
the show. It's
yeah,
pretty much in the same vein of What We Do in the Shadows. It's just instead of vampires, it's pirates.
and that's where, like I said, he made a name for himself. I think really, really heavily mainstream with Thor Ragnarok. And not What We Do in the Shadows movie or TV show. But I think the movie is going to be a good film, but I think it's going to be kind of a box office bomb. I don't believe it's going to recoup much above and beyond what actually they doled out for this.
Now, I feel like we should necessarily define what it means to be a box office bomb because I think in some places, something could make like 200, $300 million in its overall screening, but it could still be considered a bomb. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think many, say laymen out there really understand that mentality.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess in my case, I would look at anything below 750 million as a bomb.
Well, just to find out, do we know what the budget of this film was?
I have it. 250
Okay.
million.
How much?
250.
Okay. So, folks, by all accounts, just because a movie costs $250 million does not mean that if it makes over $250 million, that it's fine. That's only made back its budget. Usually, and this is just a rule of thumb I've learned from other critics, whatever a movie has cost, you could double that in order to equate for its advertising costs. So that means it pretty much took like $500 million to make the film and then promote it either through physical media, through, hey, you got me when I was in the middle of a
I
rant.
apologize, man. He said it wasn't going to be on, and yet he is on anyway, doing me a huge favor, and I'm grateful for it.
I was about to say, where'd all the Funkos go?
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Where's all your figurines?
Oh, no. I'm at the studio.
And tell the world, what are you doing at the studio? ...
Just sitting here chilling for the moment.
Okay.
Okay, what were you doing before you came into the studio?
Getting something to eat.
All right.
I thought that was going to lead to a project or something for you. I was like, fine, all right.
He's like, I can't tell you right now. I'm under exclusive contract to not mention it.
That bullshit nonsense.
But I won't say that has anything to do with basically in the initials BP and Marvel, but I'll leave, or possibly I am for and Marvel.
Okay, my opinion with this film, to be honest with you, great. It's basically been pushed really well, but I feel as though it's lacking the whole suspense and kind of lacking also what is being presented. Like, okay, we're getting the Thor, we getting Mighty Thor, who was Jane Foster. I think if they would have kept Jane Foster tucked in a little longer, too much reveal, like didn't reveal her too much, I think the anticipation would have came out perfect. Now, as far as what's his name, Krogan the God Killer, they should have kept him low key. I think it went well, but it was too soon to basically promote the other characters. They should have kept Jane Foster a secret.
So you're saying that they played all the cards out too early, and as a result, we lost all the anticipation, which a lot of people had going into Multiverse of Madness because they didn't know what to expect.
Correct.
So in this case, by the we were talking about before, the budget for this is 250 million. So double that, presumably, for advertising costs and everything that's involved at that point. What do you think in this case this movie's going to be able to pull into the box office? I'm going
to be honest. It's going to make just enough to bypass what it made.
So you're thinking barely over 5?
Correct.
Ryan, how about you, sir? Oh wait, no.
Ryan just left.
Ryan just lost the signal. Okay, so we're going to basically, when we come back, we're going to ask what his take on that is. But yeah, no, I think right now, with Multiverse of Madness having just come out, people don't have any anticipatory Marvel going on. Even if it is the first one of the original franchise to go all the way through and have a 4th movie at this point. I frankly think at this point, no one cares.
Sorry, I just wonder that Day was under the Thor thing. He just looks more proper with the background.
That was a really nice gesture on this part.
Thank you.
You can just look up and just,
Yeah.
You can see Tessa and Jane right above him. So he's saying just over 500 million on this. I'm saying 750. What are you thinking, Brian?
Here's the thing. Thor, Chris Hemsworth alone has international appeal. So I would not be surprised if the movie just simply does better overseas than it does here in the States.
Correct.
Especially considering the more mythologically based characters that are more for the international audiences, like we're possibly getting Zeus and Hercules and whatever other gods we may hit up. Because I don't want this to be one of those things where it was like Multiverse of Madness and they only went to like one other universe. I don't want them to be like bringing in Gore the God Butcher and he only takes care of like Asgardian and Greek gods. I want there to be a little bit more slaughter. I want Gore to have some heft to him. So I want there to be like a long list of, characters that have been taken out in order to make him a proper threat. So I would not be surprised if it should make its money back, but I think they'll probably say that it was a bit of a disappointment in the States. At least knowing how people are right now. I mean, yes, the theater going experience has gained momentum over the summer. What with things like Maverick and things like Minions, even Jurassic Park Dominion, with as middling of a plot as that was, it still brought in a good amount of money. But I
why
think
would you hire
Jeff
Goldblum at your evil company? You know what he did last time.
Right. But it's one of those things where I think people are willing to go ahead and shell out the money for the big ticket items. But if they are not confident in the big ticket item, then they're not going to do it. So this could be one of those things where it's like, well, we already saw that Doctor Strange was on Disney Plus within a matter of 2 months. Why am I going to waste my money to go see Thor now when it's going to be on Disney Plus probably by September?
Well, see, that's the other side of it too. Multiverse of Madness, I don't think even made $1 billion.
Maverick did. I know that much. But Multiverse of Madness, I don't think it did.
I think as of yesterday, I looked at it like yesterday or the day before. It was about 951, I think was the number.
Yeah. So it came pretty close.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, there was nothing that said that it was going to make the kind of money that No Way Home did.
Yeah.
But
of course not.
Multiverse of Madness, I have it right here, $953 million. So a profit for Disney, but not a stellar profit.
Oh.
Again, it's a matter of what their expectations are versus reality.
I'm pretty sure they're expecting $1.5 billion out of that.
Yeah, obviously, Thor, the character of Thor, just has like more stability and more credibility within the franchise. Instead of like, bringing back Iron Man or Captain America, this is really the best you can do with an established character. Everything from here on out, it's going to be new territory.
Yeah,
correct.
Unless you decide to do a Hulk movie. Because, I don't know what you can do with him necessarily, but
I don't know if they still
the original
legally
group
can
is not
do
much you
one,
got
to
left.
be honest.
What's that?
Hulk's always been tricky. I mean, I think the whole idea of a single Hulk movie has been proven that even when it was Edward Norton or Eric Bana, the Hulk is just a good side character. Unless you make everybody versus the Hulk, there's no reason to make a Hulk movie. Yeah. And the fact that he's going to be more participating with She-Hulk now and probably passing that torch, again, no reason.
Yeah, I mean, who else do you have left? I mean, Scarlet Witch is dead. Hawkeye's
already
dead.
Technically, no, she's not dead.
So,
I guess.
Yeah.
Nah, no worries. I'm just afraid I don't want to get you in trouble or nothing. So, but no, I think as far as this movie goes, I don't think Thor is going to do that well. I think when it comes down to this, people are going to be looking at it and being like Ryan, like you said, you can wait 2 months, maybe even less. I mean, on the other side of the fence, look how long it took for the Batman to show up on HBO Max.
Well, I think that was more HBO Max learning their lesson from the whole day and date thing.
But it's almost like it's saying that this is becoming the new trend now.
Right. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you could say the same thing about Disney's middling returns on Lightyear. Because as far as people are concerned, Lightyear is a bomb. Which is something you never thought you'd hear much from Pixar.
Yeah, Lightyear is not doing well because it's not a Toy Story movie.
Yeah. Not to mention the last 3 Pixar movies have been released solely on Disney Plus. So this is the first theatrical release by Pixar since Onward.
Yeah, right now that's at $190 million so far with Lightyear.
Yeah, and you know those CGI movies are not cheap to make.
Put 200 million, so it's still 9 million short of breaking the official number.
And I think it depends on who they went against. Like, what movie was out during when it was going against Lightyear?
Well, all the stuff that they got right now is obviously like Minions, the new Minions movie.
Well, it was out before Minions. Minions just dropped this weekend to a song of 200 million.
Yeah,
for the July weekend.
Derpy, who, by the way, credit to you, you did a really good job at not spoiling Stranger Things last week. I appreciate that.
Yes, Derpy. Yeah. We will somewhat forgive you for now.
Talked about, but you did a real good job at not telling us basically what was going to happen. And I appreciate that. You're awesome.
You really played it up too. You got us all like a nervous wreck.
Dude, I was sitting there like waiting. It's like all these characters, all these characters. I don't want to give it away, but this character's going to die. This character's going to die. This character's going to die. And you had me on such pins and needles with this. I don't know if that was your game plan on it, but it worked.
Basically, at this point, Derpy, you could tell me that Thor is going to die in the movie, and I might be like a 50-50 hesitant.
You know what? No, I could see them doing that, to be honest. But
no, it's too early.
Here's the thing: Tim Allen did say that he liked Lightyear as a movie, but he's like, this is not Toy Story. And that's where the difference is. People are expecting a Toy Story movie and not getting one. Correct.
Right. It leans more towards that like old 1960s kind of like space epic sort of stuff, Well,
it's the movie that got Andy into Buzz Lightyear, right?
Yeah, supposedly this is the movie that started the franchise that birthed the toy that he bought.
And 4 movies as a result.
If that's the case, if you look at Buzz Lightyear, the movie character, versus the toy, you would think the toy was a knockoff. Like the detail is just ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, this is going to make something where Pixar is going to have to be a little more nervous about going with all this, just by virtue of the fact that it didn't do well. And like I said, it's still short on even recouping the 200 million base.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But see, that's the problem when you have summer blockbusters. You've got so many in a tight little space that the ones that get there first, I think a lot of times are the ones that are going to be able to make this. All the rest of them, this is not like a drafting thing, where, every one of them that follows suit does better. No.
So it was going against Jurassic Park. So what's the money? What's the money for Jurassic Park?
Oh, God.
I mean,
I don't even think that bad.
I can imagine there being some comparison simply because I can see Taika Waititi leaning heavily into the comedy, which I think Batman and Robin did accidentally, whereas Thor: Love and Thunder will do on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only go so goofy with a franchise that pretty much had no problem killing off 50% of their heroes just a few years ago, just to bring them back in an epic, grandiose scene of just everyone banding together. Comedy, when it comes to action, has to be well timed. It has to be few and far between. Very rarely can you have something that's more funny and then throw in the action like it's nobody's business.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I think hurt Ragnarok a little bit is I felt it was a little too over comedic at times.
But it was just enough to basically make you forget about Thor and Thor: The Dark World.
It's a popcorn movie, sure.
I don't think you should forget about Thor. I mean, yes, compared to nowadays, Thor is probably a little dull and a little predictable. But I still say there is something to be said for this highly advanced civilization who we see as gods, and they keep this old, Nordic traditions alive. Once you start escaping the Nordic stuff, once you start escaping the traditional stuff, and you just go ham-fisted into the sci-fi realm, what really separates Thor from the Guardians?
Mm-hmm.
There was always something like unique about the blend of mythology versus the cosmic landscape. But
oh wow, 150 reviews already should be nervous.
Yeah, no, I mean, this isn't going to. I hope it's not. It doesn't get to the point where of Eternals, where it dips down to less than stellar, but considering the talent behind it. But
Well,
I
Eternal.
mean, even though this is very 80s fantasy inspired, I do have to wonder exactly how serious are they going to take this film.
Right.
I don't think they're banking a ton on it. I think Multiverse of Madness was the card they wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't get me started on that, because I still hate what they did to Wanda. But regardless,
she's not dead. Calm down. She's just in rubble, sedated. Because nothing kills Wanda.
Multiverses ago. I want to be sedated.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, nope, not going to go down that road too easy.
Well, I did it.
Well, you do you, man. Go do yourself.
No. Which movie? No, we ain't even see. We ain't see it yet. We just basically.
Yeah, you have to make apologies for us to the people in the room.
Oh. Yeah, I don't get in trouble.
No, she thought we saw the movie and we were spoiling it, and I told her
no.
I don't have that access yet. Yeah.
Viewings for us aren't going to be available until Thursday, which I do plan on going Thursday after work and seeing it. I question whether or not I'm going to spend the $40 on the Mjolnir popcorn bucket.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's the divide.
That's what I just said. That's like that. It felt too comedic.
You either loved it or you hated it, because it was either course correcting to make up for the dark world and the serious tone, or it just was completely goofy and really had no play in anything, because ultimately the only thing that really mattered was that Asgard got destroyed.
Mm-hmm. And also the fact that the Ninth Doctor was in it, in something that wasn't Doctor Who, and people were like, oh my God, it's Chris Eccleston. But I think, here's the thing, I think with the third movie, you have to do something different. You can't do the same old, you're going to lose the audience. So I appreciate the fact that they did what they did and they tried to do what they did. It just, like I said, at times it felt over the top comedic, and that's also me being me. I much prefer like verbal humor than physical humor. So that's where I struggled a little bit with it.
Right, but I mean, this is also, at this point, the MCU's most tenured character.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I think they said that Thor has shown in more movies than Hugh Jackman's Wolverine showed in the X-Men series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which really, when you think about like all the appearances and like, all the Avengers movies, yeah, absolutely.
By the way, you know what I found out yesterday, today? I got a new video going up for Forrest Gump tomorrow. Haley Joel Osment has voiced Sora in now 11 different Kingdom Hearts games. I just want to toss that out there. I had no idea it was that many.
Well, good for him. The man needs to work.
Yeah. I mean, granted, the kid's like 40 years old at this point or something, but pushing the storyline like Planet Hulk. Yeah, well, Planet Hulk was inevitable anyway. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, they would never make an original, like, just standalone Planet Hulk. There's no way. Like, I like Mark Ruffalo as, like, his version of Banner. I can appreciate it. But it's dull. Like, if it wasn't for the Hulk, it would just be dull. That's why I preferred Edward Norton. Edward Norton, he made Banner, like, charismatic and, a little kooky. I could vibe with it. And that's what you have to do with a Hulk. You can't have Hulk on there the entire time.
I barely remember Edward Norton even as Hulk. I know he was the first one, not counting Banner, of course, but I barely remember anything about that movie. It's so forgettable to me.
Wow.
I love it. I'm still waiting for the leader to show up. That hasn't happened yet.
That wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, got the Mandarin, sort of.
Maybe in She-Hulk, maybe he'll pop up. I don't know, but
at this point, if they haven't scraped the barrel, they're probably looking to scrape it.
Well, I mean, they're using Abomination to a certain extent.
We need Cannonball. We need Matter Eater lead. On the DC side, we need Booster Gold, because I want my Booster Gold. Dude, I want my Booster Gold, man. And I'm not
all the rejects, yes.
And no disrespect to Donald Faison, the CW stuff, they scrapped all of that. I mean, for God's sakes, Legends of Tomorrow got canceled too. You know,
well, don't get started on the Arrowverse stuff because people are inflamed about that too.
People are inflamed about everything, and being inflamed gives some people purpose in life.
Well, no, people are hating on Superman and Lois because apparently the most recent season finale proved that the show is not part of the Arrowverse. Like it's its own little dimension, like Batwoman was.
Yeah.
So now there's like only one show in the Arrowverse, and it's The Flash, and it'll probably end after season 9.
And Grant Gustin's been wanting out of that for like 4 years now too.
Right. So it's like this whole big thing that they've done multi-episode crossovers and big arching storylines. The thing that made the CW a thing for the longest time, going out with a whimper.
Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of the like Supergirl, I think, had a cliffhanger. Legends of Tomorrow apparently did definitely have a cliffhanger left over. Batwoman, I think, did too, and they're just like, we're done, scrap it, and start over. I mean, Batwoman was pulling in like 250,000 viewers an episode. Nobody even saw it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's a loyal fan base, but the fan base itself doesn't amount to much, unfortunately, in the grand scheme of things. Even the best of The Flash, it still wouldn't amount to enough ticket sales if, say, they replaced Ezra Miller with Grant Gustin.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that change is going to bring in anybody new.
But I think I think actually if they did do that, people would embrace it. I think the fans would be okay with it. And I know Grant Gustin, while he hates the Flash, I think he'd be willing to be the Flash in movies to get that something beyond CW there.
All I know is with everything we're hearing comic book wise, I don't want to think that we're on the cusp of the bubble popping. But it feels like
I'm surprised we actually haven't yet. Truth be told.
But right now, it really is starting to feel like it. It's feeling like that with the movies. It's feeling like that with DC. It isn't until we get into like the really more obscure things outside of Marvel and DC, because Umbrella Academy, that was a comic that worked well. I love the Multiverse, whatever Netflix has. I can't wait to see what they do with Sandman, because that looks really nice.
Is that still Thomas Hayden Church?
No. See, this is I mean the Sandman from DC Comics. You don't know Sandman?
Well, I know. I was gonna say I know the Sandman character from Spider-Man.
No. This is about like death and the devil and Sandman and stuff like that. Those things are like whoosh.
Actually, let me hide that for a second. That's the upcoming schedule right now for up to 2023, and then there's a whole slew of stuff that's coming in 23, 24.
Well, I mean, obviously some things have been rearranged and pushed back because obviously we're not getting Wakanda Forever just yet.
Actually, you know what? I apologize. I think I got an old one on that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one is next. I think they finished filming.
Black Panther is next.
Which one?
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Is that next? Because I thought Quantumanium was next because they had to hold off on the shooting.
Black Panther is next from what I'm hearing. And then Quantum.
Well, that would be very interesting if Wakanda Forever is up next, because we've practically heard nothing with that regard except for the debate on what you do with T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
If you do anything with him. So that should be interesting once Thor is over and done with and we start getting news on the progression of that story. Personally, I'm just going to be happy that they get like at least most of the original cast back. I love Letitia Wright. Winston Duke, who is currently voicing Batman on Spotify on a podcast. I'm going to love to see him back. He should be the next one. He really should.
So, by the way, that is the right one there. So, sorry about that. There we go.
Oh, wow. Okay, so... oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if
really...
Let me see if I can screen that up. If I can zoom that out a little bit.
Now, mind you, this is just for 2023. This isn't including anything else we have for the rest of this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, starting with Echo and just running straight through Fantastic Four, Captain America 4, which I guess, I don't know if it's going to be an interquel or what they're going to do with that.
Well, yeah, okay. The Legend stuff, that's pretty much more just like background, like behind the scenes sort of stuff. So that's not really anything to worry about. But then you're going to have Echo, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Loki season 2, which we should definitely get that around the time we get Quantumania, because that's all supposed to be connected together.
Well, yeah, it shows it's about 2 weeks apart, if you can say it.
Right. So obviously one will play into the other. Then Guardians. And then I hope that's what is Wakanda? That can't be Wakanda Forever. That's got to be something else.
I don't know. I just pulled this in. By the way, we're going to address that comment.
Yeah, that's not Wakanda Forever. That's just Wakanda, like just showing.
Is it an animated series?
I'm not 100% sure, but that's not Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever is coming out this year.
Right. So it's not like they pushed it back, but with it being so far past, like, you know, everything else, I'm surprised that they're not putting it up sooner, you know?
Yeah, then you got another Captain America, two Captain Americas back. You have literally 2 Captain Americas back to back, the Legends and Cat 4.
Well, Legends again. The Legend stuff is just behind the scenes storytelling of how like stuff is made and everything. Captain America 4 should be with Sam Wilson.
One would think, but I mean, unless they have some kind of interquel which takes place at some point in, you know, Chris Evans' journey.
Well, funny that you mentioned Chris Evans, because that's the one thing I'm really curious about. Nomad. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nomad was essentially another name for Captain America after he gave up the shield.
Interesting.
So,
and that's a miniseries that's 2 weeks after Captain America 4.
Right. Now, I can't necessarily say it's going to be the same character. And mind you, within all of this, there's nothing that says anything about Thunderbolts, which has been announced. And we can only assume it's going to include all the anti-hero kind of gray field characters that we've seen in some of the movies and television shows, whether it be you know, the new Black Widow, US Agent, whoever else they want to throw ahead and throw into that mix.
Right.
So then it's just so much. It's all like you look at it like this and it's overwhelming, and you kind of wonder, you kind of hope that Thor plays into some of this, because if it's just going to be a standalone thing, it's almost going to feel like a waste, and you shouldn't feel like that with your movies.
But like I said, the point being is that there's so much that you lose in the anticipation of it. When we had movies back in the day, you know, it'd be a year between them. Okay, it was a different character, but you got fired up and you got excited by something new, something different. And now between Disney Plus and the movie stuff, you know, it's a new thing every week, literally. And then tack onto that all the Star Wars stuff. And that's just Disney. That's not anything else. And wow, my voice is cracked.
Well, yeah, DC knows better than to try to connect all their stuff.
Yeah.
That seems to be a good way to go.
Now we have to go into this. I know you guys have probably seen it by now, but torturing yourself with the last Airbender movie that's like sadism torture, only, you know, reserved for like the gulag in Siberia. I give you points for trying to watch that.
Lord knows we did.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe I had alcohol for that one. I think I did anyway.
No, but at least it wasn't as bad as Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I dodged that one like a bullet.
Dude,
yes.
You know I mean,
because I was sitting there in tears.
Legend of Chun-Li was boring.
Yes.
I mean, at least with the 1994 one, Raul Julia had this charm. He knew the script sucked, but there was this charisma that he's had for 30-some years, dating back probably to when he did Sesame Street or even earlier than that, where it's just like it's Raul friggin' Julia. And did he look like M. Bison? No. Was he fun? Yes.
Yes, he was.
You know what? That's a movie I think I have to tackle 5 more unusual facts on.
No, and Jean-Claude Van Damme was high on coke.
Yes, he was.
Who wasn't during that time? I mean, really?
No. While playing Colonel Guile,
I bet. That's probably the
Literally.
only way he was able to get any kind of English.
Well, speaking of that, the guy that played Ryu couldn't speak English, so they recasted Byron Mann and created the new character, Captain Sawada.
Mm-hmm.
That he was the original Ryu, but he couldn't speak English, so they're like, all right, well, screw it.
See, I think that probably would have been a little bit more funny, though. Have a Ryu that can't speak English, and then have Ken kind of like be, interpreter. That would have been funny.
Watch the live action Netflix show, Draft Season 1. Yeah, they did. Yeah, Season 1 of. I mean, here's the thing: the casting for Avatar: Last Airbender Netflix is better than the one that they had for M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes,
but I don't trust Netflix. I don't trust Netflix here. Masters of the Universe is getting a Season 2. There was go back on that. There was
Cowboy Bebop only got a Season 1.
Only got a Season 1.
But it wasn't that bad. Cowboy Bebop was not that bad.
It was more faithful than some things have been. I mean, what they end up doing with One Piece, I don't know about that one either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, but see, here's the thing that the bigger conversation is.
Thank you, man. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Yeah, the bigger conversation to have with this is what and what do you create originally?
Mm-hmm.
Now, your issue with He-Man, look, it may be a continuation of the series, and it may have gone ahead and bastardized it in the eyes of some people, but it was a continuation based off of what they had to work with.
Mm-hmm.
You can't necessarily fault Kevin Smith for taking it down that road when really nothing else was taking it down any road. Then you have something like, Cowboy Bebop, which it tried to do its own thing, but it still retread the same familiar stories from the anime, which means there's going to be a disconnect there. There's going to be a loss in translation, as it were. So you always have to take that in mind when you're taking a property and adapting it. Do you tread the faithful steps and hope that your way may be better, or if not better, then at least different enough that it'll galvanize the audience? Or do you do something wholly original that shocks people and they did not see it coming? Which do you choose? Because those are really only the two routes.
You know what? I'll say this. Keep it boring. Keep it simple. Don't go over. Dude, you know what? Give the fans what they want.
Okay, but didn't you just say boring for something like Chun-Li wasn't good? Why would you want it to be boring?
I'm not saying boring from that regard, but I'm saying give the fans what they know. I mean, if you look, and I'm pulling this up right here. There we go. If you look at this Masters of the Universe Revelation poster, you can basically see the center of this, He-Man facing off against Skeletor. And this is not even one of the better ones in this case. This is just one example here. But you had this expectation and this belief that it was going to be something that He-Man was their center focus. Now if you want to change that around and make it a Teela-centered arc, you can see Teela up in the back, it's fine. And you want to make it her story, that's fine. But don't lead the fans onto believing that you are centering this around He-Man when you have him in 80% of your trailer and front and center in your posters. That bait and switch, fans don't like the bait and switch. And that's where, like I said, that's where Kevin Smith lost points. And him going after Clownfish TV was also part of it, because he went after a YouTuber who ended up being right. And you do not go after a YouTuber. They consolidate together and they protect their own. I mean, the YouTubers like that are so impassioned, and they, especially on that side of it, they will protect each other hardcore. And Kevin Smith lost points by going after Clownfish.
Right, but obviously not enough points that there's not going to be a new series. Call it a second season, if you will, but he's getting to continue it. So
and he's getting to continue
it. Something right at least.
Yeah.
Because what is it? Instead of Revelations, it's now Revolution.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's you have it right there.
I'm sorry, I pulled it
up. Next row down, second one in.
No,
next to it.
Right here?
That one.
This guy.
That's Revolution. That's the poster
Okay.
that came out just like a month or so ago.
Yeah, see, there's okay. Well, see, this one right here is just.
Well, that's Revelation again.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why he named it like this. It's so confusing by the
It
look
is
of
kind
it.
of
But
confusing,
that's the new poster right there.
yeah. But like I said, if you look at like some of the other posters there, I mean that Revelation one, He-Man and Skeletor, that's freaking badass. I'm sorry, that's really cool looking. You know, but this is
Well, that's
the
taking the iconic stuff and still using it, obviously.
yeah. You know, this is the official one from Wikipedia. So you see what that one looks like there. And like I said, that's what I'm talking about. So when you kill him off in the first episode and bring him up in episode 5 and kill him again, the fans want stability, they want comfort. The reason Law and Order works so well and has always worked so well is because you know what you're going to get every episode. It doesn't change the system. It doesn't buck the system. People are comfortable in their contentment, and I know because it's probably upstairs or it's on TV right now. So I like how they take the people have to appreciate the average viewer doesn't care about source material and it's going to be like Game of Thrones. Well, everything's going to be like Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, what was that? House of Dragons?
Well, yeah. Well, see, in this case, I think he's talking about Avatar: Last Airbender because Netflix wanted their Game of Thrones, and they wanted it to be, in this case, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they wanted like sex scenes, they wanted blood and gore and violence. And I think if that is true, that would explain a lot why the two creators of the show walked away from it. Because, like, dude, it's Nickelodeon.
Well, yeah, obviously, anytime you age up characters, it's going to be tricky. You could look at something like Titans, and you could see how when they were supposed to just simply be teenagers, sidekicks and everything, but then you look at the live-action Titan series, and Starfire's looking like a prostitute, and Robin's swearing, and stuff like that. It takes some adjustment, but ultimately you start to gauge that this is just a different version of the characters. As long as you get the core traits down, you can grow them up. You can evolve them. So, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense, but I mean,
I think
considering the show focuses around fighting, you really want to make sure that they're capable of doing such things, and it makes sense.
But I think you're losing some of the innocence to it. I mean, here's an example. I'm watching Phineas and Ferb right now.
Okay.
I love Phineas. Phineas and Ferb is genius. If Netflix, or Disney, but we'll just say hypothetically, if Netflix rebooted Phineas and Ferb and said, we want our Game of Thrones, that's not going to work here.
No, but that's completely switching the genre.
Avatar and the Last Airbender in some ways comes close to that.
Yeah, but that you're talking about switching the complete genre and purpose of this show.
Avatar, like I said, it still was a children's-esque series. Even the movie, as bad as it was still kind of geared to that. I don't know.
Adult oriented, I would say. Young adult.
Young adult, sure, but not adult.
No.
I mean, if you got something going on with Katara and Zuko,
right? No, that's definitely teenagers, young adults. It's kind of like when they try to age up Power Rangers to a certain extent.
You're talking the 2017 version,
right? I mean, it was still high school, but it was not Angel Valley like we knew and loved it.
I mean, part of the problem.
Angel Grove. Sorry,
I know what you meant. Yeah, close though. But I think dude, you're doing fine. Part of the problem that people have with a lot of the Paramount stuff is the innocence of Star Trek is lost. When you have, like I said, various things that are going. I mean, Picard. I mean, they went back in time to like present day. And a buddy of mine who is hardcore into all things Star Trek. I mean, that guy. His next goal is once again to start from all the way back at Enterprise and go all the way through to Picard season 2 and have it all done by season 3 of Picard, all the way through everything. And he is like Picard, Star Trek Beyond, all of those things. It's basically just fan fiction. It's not like actual content. It's just basically some fan fiction that somebody decided to turn into a movie or TV show.
Right, but what do you think Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey were?
Yeah, but they were their own series. They weren't spin-offs.
Well, fan fiction wise, I mean,
yeah,
but I mean, giving the fans what they want, and what they want is usually not exactly the most clean.
They were still their own entity.
Right.
Twilight is Twilight. Twilight is not Harry Potter becoming Twilight.
Well, Well, don't put that idea into the universe. Someone will write it now.
Dude, I'm sure there's Rule 34 on Harry Potter. I have no doubt of that one at all.
Derpy, 120 million from Netflix, that's nothing. All right.
That
They
doesn't count as
shell
money,
out
dude.
money for nothing.
Yeah. 15 million an episode, that's honestly not that crazy. That's actually less. I mean, I think Mandalorian was like 25.
I can imagine what Game of Thrones was.
Well, I mean, okay, here's another one, Lord of the Rings, the Amazon one.
Oh, God, yeah, no, that tips the iceberg.
That was upwards of 650 million for, I think, like an 8-episode series. Hell, even, let's say it's 12 episodes. That's over $50 million an episode.
They're basically recreating Middle Earth more so than Peter Jackson ever did.
Yeah, and they're doing a second season. It's already been picked up. Because when you drop that much money, you can't just say, no, we're done after one.
Yeah, see, that's the stuff that kills me. You're already doing a second season when the first season isn't even out, when no one's even seen the first episode.
And I don't think anyone cares either. I think with
just shovel the content down the throat.
Dude, we learned from the Hobbit movies that people didn't care beyond Peter Jackson, like the original Lord of the Rings. So if they're going to drop over $500 million, and I should clarify, well over $500 million, for Lord of the Rings on Amazon Prime, which I think most people don't really watch content on Amazon Prime. They just order stuff from Amazon Prime.
Well, I mean, as someone who watches on Amazon Prime, I can say some of it works, some of it doesn't.
I mean, I know they're trying to. I know Chris Pratt has some war movie that's on there.
Which is not the sequel to the Tomorrow War.
Okay.
Is also getting a sequel. So Pratt's really making a name for himself on Amazon Prime.
Which is interesting also because Pratt is trying to shy away from the comedic thing that he had with, Parks and Rec and even with Guardians of the Galaxy.
And to a certain extent, Jurassic Park, because let's face it, that's just comedic.
But even that had a little bit of a lighter, I guess, kid-focused feel. It's Jurassic Park. You know what you're going to get. But in this case, I think he's trying to appeal to that adult, not porno adult, but adult audience. Nickelodeon era. Again. Well, see, the Nickelodeon era, I forget when that ended. By the way, my buddy Rich, he has every single episode on DVD too. Like from the original with Austin St. John all the way to God knows whoever they're at, Lightspeed, Air, EX plus Alpha.
Yeah, that was like when Disney kind of had ownership of it. I think Nickelodeon started with Samurai, if I'm remembering correctly, because that's when they started doing the super stupid thing, where the next season or the next batch of episodes was not like a whole new like branding or anything. They just tacked on super samurai.
So it was sort of like basically when Super Nintendo basically just put super in front of every game they ever had.
No, this is worse. This is pretty much just like when Sega Genesis added on Sega CD. It's like it really changed nothing.
Don't hate the Sega CD. I had Sega CD. I had the 32X for God's sakes too.
I had an activator. What do I care?
That I didn't have, but
stupid hexagon thing.
I remember that thing. Yeah, we got to wrap this up. So last one we saw was Super Mega Force. Yeah, I don't remember really any beyond, I don't know, Jason Davis.
That was Nickelodeon edition.
Yeah, I just remember Jason Davis.
You want to talk about crapping on fans? That finale crapped on the fans.
Super Mega Force?
You talk about a bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. What they promised at the beginning of that series and what you actually got. Ugh. But that's another tirade for another day. As a matter of fact, hey, since we haven't talked about any bad movies or anything, if you would want us to watch either of the Power Ranger movies for our bad movie stuff, since we still have DBZ Evolution to get to, but
oh boy.
I would gladly watch one of the Power Ranger movies, the live action ones that came out in theaters.
You mean like Turbo or one of them?
Turbo was one of them, and then the original one, which they have not aged well.
No, they have not. Okay. All right. Well, see, like I said, I remember Turbo better than the other one. I know Turbo was the second one too, but all right. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. I would be down for that. I think that could be kind of fun. Bad hilarity fun.
Do a double feature.
All right.
But
So basically, we got the official request to basically do Power Rangers Turbo. Go, Power Rangers Turbo, go.
I tell you what, if we're gonna watch Turbo, Derpy, you have to share it. You have to let everybody know that we're doing this nonsense, and we're gonna put your name on it. So if anyone hates us, it's your fault.
Yes, I'm watching the numbers. I'm happy with the numbers. We got good growth. But yes, we're gonna have to promote the snot out of that. Anyway, Ryan, we got to call it here. Derpy, thank you. Appreciate it. Davion, thank you. God, I really hope you didn't get in trouble for that. I'll feel so terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, basically, they have Ms. Marvel again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Ryan and Hodge are going to be checking that one out, talking about that, taking your comments, throwing in their own review, and nearly finishing out the series. Anyway,
as we go back in time.
That thing where Bill Nye got a star.